Valentine's Day is just around the corner, so today I'm showing you all how to create 8 miniature polymer clay chocolates under 8 minutes. For the bulk of today's tutorials, I'm using Fimo Chocolate, Caramel, and Sculpt Cowboy as my colors of choice. For the first chocolate, I'm forming my clay into a cylinder and rounding the top with my finger. With this soft brown, I'm rolling out a thin line of clay, which I'll loosely drape over the top with my needle tool. The key here is not to have too thick of a topping. After I've positioned my clay how I'd like it, I trim the side off with my knife and smooth it out so it stays in place. And there you have it, on to number 2. With the same color and amount of clay, I'm again rolling out a cylinder, but this time I'm not looking to round just one end. Instead, I'm smoothing out both sides, and with a diagonal cut centered in the middle, you can vertically flip one half to create a 3D heart. With my needle tool, I'm smoothing out the middle. It can be tricky to hide the cut line, so I'm using a Q-tip and rubbing alcohol here to blend my line and remove fingerprints. Number 3. For this chocolate, I'm using Fimo Caramel. With my finger, I'm flattening the clay on 6 sides to create a loose cube. My edges don't have to be super straight because with some darker Fimo colored clay, I plan to make a thin layer of chocolate to go over my filling. With my fingers, I'm gently smoothing each corner, trying to press out any bubbles without manipulating the shape of my chocolate. When I'm happy with the look, I use my knife to trim away any excess clay. I want to expose the surprise inside, so I'm using a half circle tool to make a tiny bite mark in the corner of the chocolate. I'm also using the Sculpt Cowboy color used earlier to drape some makeshift syrup over top. Number 4. Using the Fimo Caramel again, I'm rolling out a long cylinder from my clay. I want to apply the same technique I did to create the cube for the filling, but this time I want to maintain the integrity of a rectangle. With a flat knife blade, I'm pressing on each side to create tight edges. Then, using the same color clay, I'm rolling out a thin piece to drape and swirl over top. Number 5. I'm going to go back to using Fimo chocolate colored clay. For this chocolate, I'm using a 1/2-inch cookie cutter to hold my ball of clay in place. With a large dotting tool, I'm pressing into the center to create a crater for tiny chocolate chunks. For these chunks, I've decided to use the caramel and cowboy colors. To make sure they stay in place, I've filled my center with translucent liquid Sculpt. I've seen a lot of variations of this chocolate, especially in praline gift boxes. Part of the fun is being able to fill the center with whatever topping you'd like. If you have lighter colored clay, you can chop tiny peanut chunks too. Number 6. This is probably the easiest of all the chocolates shown. With Fimo Caramel, I'm flattening 6 sides to create a cube, after which I'm taking my needle tool and indenting 4 lines into my clay. By rotating after each set of indentations, I've created an elegant and unique looking chocolate without too much work. And if your indents change the shape of the chocolate, you can cut each side if you wish. Number 7. Here I'm applying the same technique as chocolate number 1. I've rolled out a thick cylinder and rounded one side to make a circular shape. With the cowboy clay, I'm cutting roughly 8 to 10 pieces of similar size and length to use as sprinkles. Before applying, I'm coating the top with translucent liquid Sculpt. Make sure you're not using liquid white, or else it will continue to show after baking. Number 8. For the final chocolate, I'm creating one I've only seen once in real life. With Fimo Caramel, I'm flattening a ball of clay into a disc. With my acrylic plate, I'm smoothing out the top and then using the needle tool to indent the clay. With these divots, I'm using Sculpt Cowboy to drape super thin lines of clay over top. And with a cookie cutter shown earlier in the video, I cut out the center for a cleaner edge. Put your chocolates into the oven, and in just a few minutes you have 8 miniature decadent chocolates made entirely from clay. Use them in your figurine or create cute charms. The choice is up to you. I want to thank you all for watching. If you found this tutorial to be helpful, please leave a thumbs up. In the comments, let me know what your favorite chocolate was. As a reminder, subscribing to my channel gets you access to weekly polymer clay tutorials and tips. That's all for today, but I hope to see you all soon for another polymer clay tutorial.